Hi, all. Just a quick note about today's podcast. We did have some technical difficulties, some Wi-Fi issues with one of our guests, Mike, throughout the podcast, and as a result, for the first like quarter or so, we lost his footage, unfortunately. So yeah, you might hear some confusing parts, some oddities in there where I might ask Mike a question and then there's just no response. I tried to edit it as best as I could. But yeah, he joins the podcast a little ways into it, and then he's good the rest of the way. But uh, but yeah, thanks so much for your patience and understanding with this. I am clearly still very much an amateur when it comes to podcasting stuff. But yeah, thanks so much again for understanding, and let's get into the week one recap of the Giro d'Italia. Welcome in to the Tour de Shrug cycling podcast for our first ever Grand Tour recap, the Giro d'Italia. Week one, from Bulgaria to Italy. I'm your host, Luke Padilla. And here at the Tour de Shrug podcast, just as a reminder, I recap some of the world's biggest cycling races with a rotating series of guests who are absolutely not cycling fans. I do what I can to try and convey the misunderstood beauty of this sport, but it's not as easy as it sounds, and it definitely doesn't even sound easy. But let me just start by saying this. This season, as a cycling community, we've been blessed, honestly. The classic season was amazing. Milano San Remo, Paris-Roubaix were legendary. Listen to those podcasts, by the way, recap podcasts. Even LBL was better than last year. So all that to say, like, the scales of the universe had to align or rebalance, I suppose. And it only makes sense that we would have, no spoilers, but a little bit of a snooze fest of a first week of the Giro d'Italia. That being said, my guests today are kind of like fans of some sports that have a tendency to have some hot and cold moments, right? So maybe it'll translate. I doubt it, but maybe. One's a big fan of Formula One, and one is maybe not so much as a fan as surrounded by NASCAR, right? So yeah, anyway, my two guests, Josh and Mike, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having us, Luke.
Um, but yeah, so without kind of getting into the specifics, we all know each other through work. We work through a franchise, and Josh, I'm used to, you used to kind of be a support rep for me, so I'm used to this being reverse and me reporting to you. So this is a little bit of a weird, interesting dynamic for me. But it's going to be good. And then Mike, you've always kind of been like the barometer of success for me, where I'm like, if I'm running my program as well as Big Mike, I'm I'm in good shape. So it's an honor to have both of you on the podcast.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Um, Let me first ask this. What are like some of your interests? Obviously, cycling isn't one of them. So what are some of your interests? We lost Mike. Hopefully he can join back in a little bit. But in the meantime, Josh, how about you kind of take over? I'll shoot him a text and tell him to join back in
Sounds good.
whenever.
I actually kicked him out, so that's why. No, I'm kidding. Um, yeah, so for myself, huge into Formula One. I've been following Formula One since 2007. And I watch every single race. I watch Formula Two, Formula Three, so I get to see the ladder of up and coming drivers as well. So really enjoy that. I'm pretty big into the outdoors. Like, I love hiking, I love backpacking. Luke knows this, but last summer I did a long distance through hike called the Pacific Northwest Trail, and that was over 1,200 miles. I don't know what that breaks down into kilometers, but yeah. So I did that last summer, which was amazing and a lot of fun. Some other hobbies, interests. I love football. The real football is, Europeans, not American football, but soccer. So I watch, the Premier League. I watch Champions League. Um, I'll watch even Europa League and Conference League. And then, yeah, I typically follow most sports in Seattle. So big fan of the Seattle Sounders. I like the Seattle Mariners. I'll watch them from time to time. Seattle Seahawks, the reigning NFL Super Bowl champions. Sorry about that,
Mm.
Luke, from where you're at, but completely destroyed
Oh,
the New England Patriots. So that was fun. And then Yeah, I have too many hobbies, my wife will tell me. But yeah, there's a few other things, but that's like the main gist of who I am and what I like and support.
Nice. Well, thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's a that through hike. That is bananas. That's what, like 2,000 kilometers or yeah, I think 2,000. Crazy. Okay, before we jump into the like the recaps of everything, I want to establish your cycling knowledge or lack thereof. So, I just have two questions for you. First, Lance Armstrong, hero or villain?
Oh, great question. I mean, I he was a hero when he was doing really well, and then once he was caught cheating, turned into a villain. So I will say both because I like to sit on the fence.
There you go. I am not going to chime in on this. I'm not even
What?
going to say if he's like, I don't know what I think.
You're not?
No, I'm just, no, I think,
I want to hear your opinion.
it's, I want to be on the fence about this too. No, I think, he's both. I'm kind of in your camp, Josh. I think like everyone was doping at the time. He was a beast, better than everyone else, but he also was like a mafia boss, like handling the drug like trade stuff. So yeah, it was plus he's a little bit of a dick at times. Lance, I hope you're not listening to this podcast. Um but I the other thing is like I right, I was like the biggest Lance Armstrong fan ever, and then when the news broke, I was like heartbroken. So maybe I just take it a little bit too personally. That's all it is. Um all right. Well, here's my second question. Do you think if you were going down a mountain, a cyclist is going down a mountain and you're driving a 2008 Honda Civic, who gets to the bottom first? This is a professional cyclist, by the way, not just me.
Okay. Well, seeing that from what the question is, who's driving it, right? If we got Takumi Fujiwara driving it, it's probably going to beat the cyclist down. That's from a obscure
Oh no,
anime for
this is
anyone. Oh,
you.
for me? Oh, well, I feel like I'm a decent
This is
driver,
this is
so
you driving it.
I mean, I will if I have to sideswipe that bicyclist to win, I'll do that. I'm not above it. Listen, I respect the 3 feet, right? The 3 feet law. But are we doing like Pikes Peak, like where it's like a bunch of switchbacks? Is it just like what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's got to be
Okay.
switchbacks. If it's a
Yeah,
straight shot, the
for
cars
sure.
win it.
I mean, honestly, seeing some of those like cyclists go down, like they were going what, 30, 40 miles an hour, like down the hill. That is pretty
Oh,
quick. That's
yeah, more than
yeah,
that.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm gonna believe in myself and think that I could do it. I think I could beat them.
Hey, I love that belief. That's great. Um, well, let's get into the Giro because we have a lot of stuff we got to cover. So, setting up the race, the Giro d'Italia, it is the first of the three grand tours of the year. We have the Giro d'Italia, Tour de France, Vuelta a España. It is 21 stages. So, it's over the course of 3.5 weeks. And what we're covering is stages 1 through 9. And basically, how it works is at the end of the 21 stages, whichever rider has the quickest cumulative time is the overall winner. This is week 1. And the favorites going into it, Jonas Vingegaard is like the overwhelming favorite. He's won the Tour de France twice. He won the Vuelta last year. And it's basically him and a bunch of B tier favorites. No disrespect to them. They're amazing riders, but they're just not as good as Jonas. So that's kind of how it was going into it. We have one heavy favorite and a bunch of B tier guys other than that. So for you two, I know you watched like mainly, the highlights and stuff, but like, what did you expect going into it? Going into it?
I'll start. The first thing was that they were going to be racing in Italy. What is this starting in Bulgaria? Like what? That's not even, it doesn't even border Italy. Like what? What? That was so confusing to me. I had to double check to make sure that I was watching the correct highlights because I was so
That's
confused.
valid. Totally
Yeah.
valid, man. Yeah. Yep. No, that's like I said, completely valid. Um, so I think I don't know if it's the same with Italy with the Giro, but in the Tour, I think it's every 3 years it has to start back in the home country. But then what they do is they like auction off the starts a lot of the time. So it'll be like the first three stages are going to be in this country. The Vuelta a España last year started in Italy, so it's like yeah, it's not even bordering the country. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Interesting.
Um, yeah, the Tour de France next year starts in Great Britain. So just waiting for the day when they start one of these. Yeah, waiting for the day when they start one of these in the States. That'd be great. But no, that's a good observation, Josh. But yeah, I guess the other question I'll ask is, be honest, did you have any desire to follow week one of the Giro d'Italia starting in Bulgaria? That's great, man. That's what
That's
we
the
want.
exact same. The only real race I know is the Tour de France and then the Olympics. Like I figured they had other races, but I did not know what the Giro d'Italia was.
Hey, that's why I'm here. That's why
I
the
want
Tour de
to
Shrug is
I
here.
want to
All
go
right.
back though to your first question. One other thing that I was wondering about heading into this is has and I I'm not trying to get political, but I've been wondering if the Middle East has figured out a way to sport wash cycling. And based on some of the team names, I'm going to guess that that answer is yes. With their the UAE and I think I saw a Bahrain like team, all that.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, yep, they're getting into everywhere. They're just everywhere.
Yep. Yeah, you're not wrong, man. And Team UAE is a powerhouse. They're just have all the money. They have the best rider in the world, and they can do whatever they
Yeah.
want. So you're right. No, that's a good observation. We also have connecting this to F1, we have Red Bull as a team. So I
I didn't see
don't know if
any
you saw
Red
that.
Bull
Yeah.
team, but I did see like the bunch of like the Red Bull kilometer or whatever, the sprints, which Luke, I hope this is going to be informational for me as well because I have so many questions about the sprints, the hill climbs, why people do certain things, all that stuff. So I'm excited to hear your recap.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, let's get into it then. So we're gonna kind of have to skim through some of these stages to focus on certain ones here. Because there were a lot of boring stages. I'm not gonna lie. And I love this sport. I'll watch it anyway. And there were stages where I was like, oh, what why did I just watch that? That was so boring. So well, we'll get into it. So first stage, stage one was a pretty boring sprint stage. The good thing about sprint stages like that is you don't have to watch 95% of it. You just tune in for the last 5 kilometers. And that's basically what I did. No disrespect to the riders, but yeah, so boring sprint stage. And basically what happened is leading into there's a big fight for positioning because in a opening sprint stage for the Giro, not only does the sprinter get the stage win, but they get to wear the pink leaders jersey. So it's like even more so sprinters are trying hard for the win. And it was a big fight for positioning. We had a huge crash in the last kilometer. Did you guys see the highlights of that? Did you see the crash?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I'm actually impressed that like more of the cyclists actually stopped. I mean, it was already massive, but it
Mm.
like took up the whole entire uh course, I guess. Is that what you call it? Course? Course? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, no, it did. And there is a a 3 kilometer rule. So it's basically like if once you get inside 3 kilometers, if there's a crash, you won't lose any time because
Hmm.
of it. So that is it's kind of implemented for that reason.
I do want to talk about the
Yeah.
pink jersey. What's up with the pink jersey? I'm used to the yellow jersey.
Yes, the pink jersey is to the Giro what the yellow jersey is to the Tour. So just they have, and then in the Vuelta a España, it's a
Okay,
red jersey. So it's just different colors for each Grand Tour. Um, because like when someone wins the overall race, they want to be able to hang up like I got the pink jersey and the yellow jersey and the red
that makes
jersey,
sense.
right? So That's kind of one of the big things there. Yeah, for sure. Mike.
Mike, you're looking
I'm sorry,
nice and
guys.
clear.
I tell you what, I am canceling my internet provider tomorrow. I'm getting new internet.
Oh my gosh. With I'm like sitting directly next to the router down here because I'm like, like, gotta be as close as possible. Um, all right. Well, are you good to continue? Feeling okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
I'm good. I apologize again. I'm sorry, but we'll keep
No, all
shrugging.
good, Mike.
We'll keep talking about cycling. That was pretty redneckish.
Yeah.
Cycling.
Keeping that in for sure. Um, all right. Well, we got Mike back. This is great. Glad to have you back, Mike. So we talked about stage one. We're gonna jump forward to stage two, which was a pretty good stage. It was a puncher stage and hilly at the end. And the big talking point of this stage is that like 20, like something 23Ks to go, going down a hill in the wet conditions, there's a really big crash again, like swooping down. One of the UAE riders, I think, just kind of lost the wheel, slid out, and then took out like half his team. One of the guys like hit the guardrail with like it looked bad, man. I was stressed. And the race was neutralized for a little bit. Did you guys see this crash?
Yep, I
I
did. That
did.
was that
Talking about crashes here.
that one looked, yeah, that one looked a little bit more painful, and I think it probably was because you're going downhill.
Mm. Yeah. Do you guys think the riders should have been allowed to or certain riders should have been allowed to continue? Like from a like from a novice viewer's point of view, like what were your thoughts on riders getting up and going?
That's where I don't understand the whole neutralizer race. Like they pulled the car out and then they could don't like they're still racing, but they're not. It's like a pace car, right? Like, um, but I mean, to answer your question, I think if they're able and willing to do it, let them ride. I mean, they're grown men; they can make their own
Mm.
own decisions.
Hmm. Sure. Yeah. I guess to answer your question about the neutralization, the reason why they do that is because when there's a big crash like that, the ambulances come up, and then it's like, if another crash happens, we don't have enough ambulances. The ambulances like can't get up to the other riders, right? So they have to like wait until things are kind of sorted and the support cars and an ambulance can like get up and be available in case another crash happens. So that's kind of why they neutralize it. Um, but yeah, Josh, any thoughts on that?
Well, I didn't even know, like, yeah, the neutralization. I don't really understand that, if I'm being honest. So,
Mm,
but yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I agree with Mike. Like, if they're feeling good and they're up to it, and that, like, if a team doctor or whatever is like, yeah, they're fine. Like, go ahead, continue to let them ride. I have
mm,
two thoughts. One's a general question, like, but
sure.
one is about the specific stage. I'll start with the specific stage one. I thought it was funny when they were going up the hill that they were doing a gender reveal, because they had like a pink flare and it was like, oh wow, they're having a girl. No, that's my American coming out in me. Um, but I'm interested in why they do rolling starts. Like, why do they have a rolling start and not just like a standing start kind of thing? Is I thought that was kind of interesting. It made me laugh every time when at the beginning of the highlights they'd show a guy just standing out of the sunroof of a car and he'd wave like a flag. It wasn't even like a green flag, like it was just a flag, and it's like, okay, you can go now. But there was like pylons that looked like on the side of the course, or like holes that was like, okay, this is obviously the starting point. So yeah, maybe you could fill me
Mm.
in with my uh what's the word I'm looking for? Um I don't know, but I don't know. I don't understand it. Help me understand.
Yeah. Well, first thing, congrats to that guy, the couple that's
Yeah,
having a girl.
agreed.
That's huge. Yeah, happy for them. The rolling start, sometimes it's like a long neutral zone to the start, and then sometimes it's pretty short. A lot of times it'll be because they want to start like in a town, and is that my dryer going off? What was that buzzing? They'll start like in a town center, and it'll be like, oh, from Paris to wherever, right? And instead of like being like start from here and now you're going fast through like narrow city streets, it's like they start, the crowd can be there to like wave them off, and then they like really start the race when they get into like out into open roads. So most of the time it's like a safety thing. um but that's as far as my knowledge goes for it. I actually don't know if there's another reason why, but that's kind of my guess.
It just
Uh,
makes it more exhilarating. That's why.
exactly. Everything about this sport is exhilarating. um but yeah, no, it was a pretty gnarly crash. But luckily pretty much most everyone was relatively okay. Had some hospitalizations, but and a lot of abandonments, but could have been worse. And then following that crash, the race starts up again. Jonas Vingegaard attacks. He has Pellizzari in his wheel and Leonard Van Eetvelt in his wheel. The three of them kind of work together for a bit, but then they end up getting caught at the final climb by a small group. And there is a small group sprint with a sprint won by Guillermo Thomas Silva, which shout out to him because he is the first Grand Tour stage winner from Uruguay. So that's huge. Huge for South America, huge for Uruguay, and he takes the pink jersey, which is huge. Pumped for him. Uh, Next stage. Sorry, I'm just kind of rapid fire going through this. We got to get to some other ones, but next stage, stage 3, super boring sprint stage. I didn't even watch it. I'm not gonna lie, but Paul Manier wins it. I didn't even say who won stage 1. Paul Manier won stage 1. Sorry, everyone. Um, and uh, and he wins again, stage 3. He wasn't the favorite, but he had, good timing on his sprint. Stage 4 was more of like a versatile sprint stage. There was a climb like 30 Ks from the finish. The team Movistar nukes the climb, and it's a drop. Basically, they nuke this climb to try and drop all the big sprinter boys, right? And they do that, and then it's a small group sprint, and Johnny Narvaez wins, is a very good small group sprinter. All right, now we're getting to some meaty stages. Stage 5. This is one I want to talk about because heading into this, I posted a video saying that I thought this stage was going to be massive and that there was going to be huge GC action on this stage, and there was going to be use of satellite riders, which I'm sure we all know what satellite riders are, right?
Right. It's people who ride on satellites, obviously. Yeah.
Exactly. Um, okay. What a satellite rider is in essence, it is a rider who gets in the breakaway for a team and is there like strategically for them to be used later on. So, like, as an example, in this stage, there was a pretty tough climb about 50 Ks from the finish, very steep. And then after that, it was like rolling terrain before a descent. Now, the way like drafting and works, right? Like if you're going up a super steep hill, the drafting doesn't matter as much because you're not going very fast. But if you're on like flat or rolling terrain, me sitting behind Big Mike, who's pulling like a huge amount of watts, right? Like it makes a massive difference. Like I'm going to be using half the energy that he is sitting in his wheel. So what I thought was going to happen is that Visma was going to put some riders in the breakaway and make sure they get over that climb. And then what a satellite rider does is it's like Jonas attacks on that climb, gets over the hill, and then latches on to his rider who's waiting for him there. And then that rider will pull him for like a certain amount of time, right? So it's like a rider that you strategically put there. I was convinced that this was going to happen during this stage. And then the stage started. Visma got riders in the break. I was like, it's happening. I'm a prophet. Someone sign me up to be a director sportif of a team right now because I nailed this. Um, And then it didn't happen. It very much didn't happen at all. But part of the reason is because the weather was like the worst thing in the world. Did you guys see the highlights to this stage? It was like hailing, miserable
Yeah,
weather.
I did see it, and it made me laugh watching them try to put rain gear on because it's like, what's the point? You know, as someone who hikes, you have to embrace the elements, right? So it's like it just made me laugh watching them try to put like some raincoats on or whatever or wind jackets, and it's like, what's the point? Why are you doing that? You're not keeping yourself any drier.
Why? I agree with what Josh was saying. It's like I was just waiting for that giant lightning strike to happen where they're like, okay, guys, race is over. We gotta wait for the lightning to be done. But I don't even know if that's like if they will ride in lightning or what. I mean, obviously they don't care about safety because they're riding in a hailstorm.
Oh my gosh, it's like a little league baseball game. There's it's lightning strikes, and they're all like, "All right, pack it up." It's a good
Yeah,
question.
I
I've
don't know.
actually never seen that happen.
So they've never canceled a stage because of weather before. Is that what you're saying, Luke?
No, no, no. They definitely have canceled it because of weather. I don't think I've ever seen it happen mid stage where they're like, "Oh, there was
Hmm.
lightning." But I don't know. Like I wonder. It seems like thunderstorms aren't as much of a thing over there as they are at least in the Northeast. I don't know. But yeah. So anyway, this stage, I thought it was going to be a banger of a stage, and it ended up kind of falling through a little bit. But there was a really intense finale where there's two riders up the road, Arietta and Alfonso Eulalio, and they have a huge gap. They're getting to the finish, working pretty well together. Going around a corner, Arietta slides out and crashes. And it's like, all right, Alfonso Eulalio's going to ride away and win. Then, like 10 minutes later, Eulalio slides out the almost same way and he crashes. And it's like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. Arietta comes up to his wheel and now they're back and now it's a 50-50 again. Now going around a corner, Arietta takes the corner too wide and goes like up an on ramp. And this is like 2Ks from the finish. And at that point, I was like, race is done. He turns around, comes back, catches up to the guy, and dusts him in the sprint. It was epic. Super strong.
I picked for two reasons. One,
Oof.
because he actually came back and did it, and two, he didn't get clotheslined. Like when he hit that ribbon, I was like, "Oh, dude, he's falling for sure." No, he handled that like a pro.
For real. He honestly did. Yeah, it was a wild ending. Pretty cool. I was bummed I didn't get my prediction about the stage right, but it was still a fun, ending. Any and final thoughts on that stage, Mike, before we move on?
I just like, does every race have a mountain stage involved? Like, is that part of like the race course?
Yeah, like you mean like every individual stage have a mountain in it?
Yeah, like sure.
Mm. Not necessarily. There will be some stages where it's just totally flat, and then some where it's like multi mountains, and some where it's just one mountain. But not every stage will have a mountain in it. Most, like if it's a grand tour like this, it'll have like 5 to 7 mountain stages, though.
And then are guys like experts in the mountains and then they're
Yep.
slow in the flatlands? Like, is that the draw?
Kinda. Kind of, yeah. So like the heavy favorite Jonas Vingegaard is teeny tiny. He probably weighs like 120 pounds, and he is not very. I'm not very fast on flatland. I say that he could drop me on the flat using one leg, but still, like compared to the bigger guys, he's not very good on the flat. But then when it comes to the mountains, it's like he weighs so much less than them. And then it becomes like the watts per kilo is what they say. So like the power that he's putting out based on the weight ratio is just like he's gonna
It's
smash
off the
everyone.
charts.
Uh yeah, going uphill. So yeah. Does that answer your question, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let's jump forward to stage 6, which was another super boring sprint stage. with a pretty dangerous final. Again, there's a crash. So many crashes in this Giro. Crash in the final kilometer, uh, which was going around on cobblestones, and then Davide Ballerini rides away by himself to win that stage. But let's jump ahead because now we have what was supposed to be the meaty stage of the week, stage 7. It's 244 kilometers to Blockhouse. This is what I want to ask. What's longer, the Monaco Grand Prix or this stage of the Giro
Yeah, that's a good
d'Italia?
question. I'm trying to think of how long. I know that there's like 70, 71 laps, I think, of Monaco. I just don't remember the length of the course. So I'm 100% saying the race because or sorry, the Giro d'Italia, because it's got to be less than 3 kilometers per lap kind of thing. So yeah.
Mm, yeah. Mike, do you have thoughts on it?
I think the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is 2.5 miles, and that's a 500-mile race. So that's obviously longer than this 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 stage of the bike race.
Yeah, I will say I looked up distances of like Indy 500, which makes sense. Indy 500, it's in the name, but still, I was like, those races are crazy, dude. Um, but but no, the Monaco Grand Prix is 260 kilometers, so it's a
Oh,
little bit
dang
longer,
it.
but still, I was like shocked. I was like, it's actually kind of close. I mean, this stage is like mega long.
Yeah,
Like most of them are not
right.
this long, but still, I was like, brother, that is almost as long as the Monaco
Yeah.
Grand Prix. Uh,
How long are they
so yeah,
cycling? Are they
it's
starting
pretty
at like
wild.
6 in the morning and then racing until midnight? Like, is this a 2-day stage? What's going on here?
It it's a great question. They're riding for like 6.5 hours, six or like 5.5 to 6.5 hours. Which just the thought of that, my butt hurts sitting on those seats for that long. I go on a 2 hour ride, and by the end, I'm like, oh my god, I don't think I can sit for another
Yeah,
hour.
I know they have little padding, but it's not that much padding. So,
Yep,
and
yep,
especially if you're weighing 120 pounds, man, you're like all bones at that point. I mean, I know their legs are like, it does make me laugh a little bit seeing the physique of cyclists, just because like their upper body is so small, and then you see their legs, it's like, oh my gosh, you're just massive. But
yeah,
yeah,
They're
just
yeah,
ripped.
massive.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's pretty wild. But yeah, so this stage though was a super long stage with a pretty hard mountain in the end. And it was supposed to be like people were like, this stage is going to be bananas. It was fine. It was a fine stage. Mountain stages are always hyped up. And this was okay. This whole week of the Giro has been a little bit boring. Um, but honestly, nothing really happens until they get to Blockhouse. So it's like 244 kilometers. The Blockhouse climb is what, like 13 kilometers long. So for the first like 230 kilometers, it's like I didn't even need to watch it. Um, but
Thanks for
yeah, so
inviting
then
us to
that
watch
that
it.
final
Like, you're
climb
really
was super
selling the
windy.
sport.
Hey, it's very hit or miss. I'll tell you that right now. I will say, similar to the Monaco Grand Prix, though, it's like it's hyped up as this amazing race, and then you watch Monaco, and you're kind of like, this is like kind of a boring race. I don't know if you would agree with that, Josh, but it's like when I watch them, it's like Monaco. I'm like, it's not, like no one passes each other.
yeah. There, if you're interested, like Monaco is like the crown jewel of Formula One. That's what they say. But the the real action is qualifying day on Saturday. Like Saturday is where it's exciting. Cars are their lightest. They have the least amount of fuel in it. They're the closest they can get to the barriers without hitting them. Right? Like that. If you're looking for the most excitement, that's when to do it, or to watch. The actual race is almost a procession because the
Mhm.
cars they're a little bit narrower this year. So we'll see. Maybe there might be more passing, who knows, but more often than not, the only passes that really happen are in the pits, or if like there's a safety car, red flag, stuff like that. So, yeah, the racing is not very fun to watch, but qualifying is maybe one of the most exciting things. So,
Mm. See, there you go. And what about have you? I've actually never watched the Indy 500, but is it is it exciting the entire time? Mike,
Absolutely.
I need your input.
Yeah, they can go 5 cars wide down the track. So like
Mm,
it's similar to F1 in Monaco. Like a lot of the action happens in the pits, like who's got a slow pit stop or a fast pit stop. But um, I mean, the cars are going 232 miles per hour, and they're open wheel going, 3, 4, 5 cars wide. Um,
mm,
it's it's exciting. It's long, which is part of the problem. So like you could have a leader for 50 laps, and then he has one bad pit stop and then is at the back of the pack. So um,
mm.
yeah, I mean like that's what cycling needs. They need pit stops to add more drama. Just like pull off and change tires and grab a Gatorade, whatever they drink.
especially in the rain. Mike, I was thinking that, like, in the rain, like, if they, like, they're already carrying a bunch of bikes on those cars, like, okay, just throw some wet tires on there if, like, conditions change and stuff. I'm sure they got, like, quick release
That's what I'm
systems.
saying. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah,
I
we need this F1 NASCAR mentality in here.
I mean, I think they should throw fat tires on for a stage just to mix it up a little bit.
One fat tire on the back and one
One fat
skinny
tire
tire
on the
on the
back.
front.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Mike, I was thinking though, when you were talking about Indy 500. I don't know if you noticed it all during the highlights for these races, but like a lot of times, like they'll get like a water bottle from the car next to them, or they'll get food from like a rider next to them. They should implement this into the Indy 500, where it's like cars are handing each other like a a sandwich from window to window, and they're like, "Do you have enough water?" And they're throwing hand in water bottles between the windows.
I I'm
That's
all
what we
for
need.
it,
We need
right? Like
some teamwork.
I'm all for it. Get like fruit snacks smashed up on the windscreen or something. Like just add a whole new level to racing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, well, to be honest, I probably would have rather watched um the Indy 500 than this stage, which I thought was going to be great. I thought it was going to be really fun, but it was a little bit boring. So they get to the climb. Uh Team Visma bike starts pacing up the climb. Jonas eventually attacks. He has Pig or not Piganzoli, Pellizzari with him for a little bit, and then eventually drops him. But really the only drama was that Jonas is like two-time Tour de France winner. He's one of the best GC riders ever, amazing climber, and he was like looked like he was gassed, like he was losing time to Felix Gall going up the climb, which was a little bit surprising. Maybe he's undercooked because he's trying to do the Tour de France in like a month and a half. Uh, but yeah, I would have thought on this climb, if you had asked me the morning of, I would have been like, Jonas is going to win by a minute and a half, is what I thought. So it was, a little bit closer than I thought. Um, but yeah, this was your first like mountain stage that you watched. So I thought it was boring, but what did you guys think of it?
I think it was a bike race, Luke. I think it was all of the thrilling aspects of riding your bicycle. Are they like
Mm,
I've got more questions. Like do they
yeah.
are they loyal to the manufacturer? Like I mean, why doesn't anyone ride a Huffy? Like why is like can I start a bike team?
Yeah. Like with the pegs on
Oh
the
yeah.
back, like one of the riders is just standing on the pegs
Dude,
like you did as a
Mike,
kid.
I'm digging the idea of throwing like different bike types between stages. Like one stage is a penny farthing, like the big wheel in the front, the small in the
Yeah.
back. We get a BMX stage. Like, oh, dude, that'd be cool.
get the banana seat bikes out, like
That
make
would
it
be sick.
comfortable for them.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about this? This is what I said about F1 too, Josh. Is I was like, I feel like when there was Max Verstappen was winning year
Yeah.
after year, I was like, they should switch it up and have it be like, all right, this race, they're all going to be riding a golf
Yeah.
cart,
Go
and
karts and
and
stuff
then
like
and
that.
then
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like, all right, next stage you're going to be driving a Honda Civic, whatever it is. So it's like that way. It's like, all right, who's best in this?
I like it.
We need
I like it.
variety.
Yeah, Luke, honestly, the one thing I guess I would notice about at least the last few stages that I watched, and I don't remember how many in a row, but it was interesting how the stage ends with like a decent hill climb. Um, which
Hmm.
I mean, that's pretty brutal when you're, riding as far as they're riding, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, yep, and to finish the stage, you now have to climb this mountain. Enjoy. Like,
Hmm.
that's
Yep.
pretty masochist of the organizers. So
Yeah. As are the writers, to be
yeah,
honest
that's
with
fair.
you.
I
So
could see it.
yeah. No, that's a good point. Um but yeah, no, it was mountain stages can be incredible, like slow drama where it's just like really epic. This was not necessarily one of them. So not the best first mountain stage to watch. Moving on though, because we have two more stages here. Stage 8 was a hilly stage. This was actually a pretty good stage. There was a really long breakaway battle. So that's like a bunch of teams and riders trying to get in the breakaway because they think they have a good chance to win the stage. Um, that lasted for like 2.5 hours. It was pretty good. That whole battle of like the break would go and then someone would chase it down and then it would reset and then it would go again. Like that was kind of fun. But then once the breakaway did form, it was two UAE riders and one UAE or not UAE, Uno X rider. And the result was like everyone knew Johnny Narvaez was going to win, and he did. And then today, stage 9 was actually a pretty good stage. It was what they call an unipuerto, which means basically like hockey stick. So like flat for the most of the stage and then like a mountain at the end. And it was pretty good, the stage today where, I sort of mentioned to you off camera a little bit, Josh, that there was some like blue jersey. You mentioned that there's no polka dot jersey in the race for the King of the Mountain. It's the blue jersey in the Giro, and Jonas Vingegaard is in the blue jersey. Now Tuesday is a time trial, which is basically like everyone going on a bike on their own, right? So it's like no team tactics, and the Jonas in the blue jersey has to then ride the time trial in his blue in the blue jersey and not his team kit, and which is a disadvantage aerodynamically, right? So there was the drama today of people being like, are all these other teams pacing so that Jonas has to stay in the mountain jersey and now he has to do the time trial in the mountain jersey instead of his team skin suit, which theoretically could lose a second per kilometer because it's not as aerodynamic. So that was the drama today where people were like, "Oh, is he going to lose the mountain jersey? Our team's going to pace and make him stay in it." And that's what ended up happening. He basically kind of realized like, if I'm going to have to be in this mountain jersey for the time trial, I'm at least going to take some time on everyone. So he attacks and wins the stage, and it was great. But now on Tuesday, he has to do the time trial in the dreaded blue jersey. So I don't know. Do you think it's going to make a difference
Is it like
aerodynamically?
the blue jersey? Is it just like they've got a extra large and then they just throw it on everybody, or is it like do they have multiple sizes?
Yeah, can you imagine? They're just like, this is the size we got, dude. We didn't order any extra smalls. I'm sorry.
It's a
We thought for
sail,
sure.
like catching, flapping in the wind.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, it's crazy because it's like clearly that it fits great. Like if it was on me, I'd be like, this is the best fitting jersey I've ever had. But for them, it's like similar to F1 or NASCAR. It's like the aerodynamics are so important, and they put so much time and money into this skin suit that they can put to like get the wind to go off of it in the right way. And then it's like yeah, this is still like an amazing jersey and skin suit that you have on, but because it's not the one that you had worked on in the lab, it's not good enough. Just not good enough. But
Speaking
you're right, Mike. Maybe it is.
s-
Go for it.
speaking of aerodynamics, why don't they have like the speed helmets like a downhill skier that's like 3 feet long and it's like uh lightweight, but like I feel like that would be more aerodynamic than the bike helmet with a bunch of holes in it.
Um, Two reasons. Well, first, they do actually have those during the time trials. Um, they are not allowed in the road stages because if they were, the peloton would look like a school of fish. On like honestly, I think they don't allow them in like regular races because they're just like no, we can't. It looks hideous. Don't do it. Like that's honestly part of the reason. There's like safety too, but
So it's an
I
aesthetic
don't know.
thing on top of aerodynamics. Okay, all right, I see how it is.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure.
Mike, I was thinking the same thing though, because
All
like,
right.
don't they also have like the bubble, like a screen to like block their face? Is that
Yeah.
also in the time trial?
Yeah, that's a time trial
Hmm.
thing.
I do think it's weird that
Hmm.
they wouldn't let each team design their own jersey, like, in of like if they had the pink jersey, let's say, or the blue jersey. Like, is that a disadvantage, Luke? Like, is the person who's in the pink jersey, are they at disadvantage during the trial because it's also not built to specification and they're going to lose a second a kilometer?
Theoretically, yes. And yeah, they just have to use like the race organizer's skin suit, from what I understand. I'm not totally sure, but that's my understanding of it.
Gosh, conspiracy theories,
So
man.
yeah,
That's never happened before in cycling.
yeah,
So
never, never before. Um, all right, yeah. Here's to hoping that next week is better, but I'm not crossing my fingers. Um, all right. So this is week one. We have 2 more weeks to go. What do you think is going to happen? What's your final predictions? Who's going to win? Alfonso
Oh,
Eulalio, who's still in the pink jersey, Jonas Vingegaard, Josh Cleveland. Sorry, I said your last name. I'll beep it
that's
out.
okay. I'm heading out there, dude. I'm ready to compete. I'm gonna make up all the hours of time that I missed on the first 9 stages. I honestly, Luke, I don't know.
that
Is it someone is going to win? I'll say that someone is going to win. Uh, do you find it like you've mentioned it a few times now, where this GC, as you call it, is
Mhm.
not as exciting? Is it because the favorite is like kind of shitting the bed a little bit, or like or is it just like where? I'm interested in what you think as someone who follows
Mm,
this. I mean, I don't know any of the favorites. I've also been looking for American flags for like the finishers of like
mm.
or who's in the top 10. I haven't seen any. So like apparently America has fallen off cycling face of the earth. Uh so yeah, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. There is one American who is really good. He's Jonas Vingegaard's teammate, so that's why you haven't seen him yet. But his name is Sepp Kuss, and he's great. He's going to be up there by the end of this. Um,
no, we're talking
to
about
answer your
Americans,
question,
Luke. That
the
that name is
reason.
not. No, that doesn't work.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's a really good
Uh,
point, Mike. Like the name should be something like Bob Jackson or something like that. Like what? I'm confused. I'm so confused.
How do you claim American? Like, is it like the EPL where you get to choose where you're born? Like, how does this work?
that's a great question. Well, because 90% of the people are like Belgian, it's just, I think other people, they're just like, oh, claim American. claim whatever. But you're right, Sepp Kuss. That is that's a cyclist name. Not you wouldn't put
That's a
that
stage name.
to American. Um, it's a stage name. Oh my gosh. Um, all right, but the reason why I think that the GC is just kind of like it's not looking very exciting is because Jonas Vingegaard is in second place. The guy in front of him is like 2.5 minutes ahead. He's the guy in front of him is a terrible time trialist. Jonas will take 3 minutes on him then, and he'll be in the lead. Everyone else who's his nearest competitor is going to be 3 minutes behind him after the time trial. And then it's like, he's just so much better than everyone else that it's like, he can just defend the rest of the race, which is fine. I think that's fine. It could lead to some good breakaway stages, but like, unless he crashes, he's going to win the race. So that's kind of, I guess, my perspective on it. You never know. Maybe he could come down and with sickness and uh and lose, but I doubt it. I also will be very excited if he wins. I'm a big fan of Jonas, so that's kind of what I think is going to happen.
I
Let me ask you this though. Kind of wrapping things up. So every race, I generally have like a shrug of the race that I ask of my guests. This is obviously 9 stages, so there's a lot to choose from. But if there is one moment where that you can choose as the shrug of the race so far, which is like a moment that maybe seemed like a big deal, maybe in the highlights they were like, "This is amazing," but you were basically just like, "I don't care." That doesn't sound like that exciting. Is what would you say is your shrug of the race? Whoever wants to go first.
I think the use of smoke bombs is way too much.
Wait, the use of what?
Smoke bombs, like the spectators, they've got all these
Oh,
flares and smoke, and it's like these guys are trying to use their max lung capacity, and we're filling it with smoke in the air. Like, doesn't make sense to
Too many
me.
gender reveal parties, man. I agree, Mike.
oh my gosh, that's a good shrug. I love it. Josh, do you have
I,
one?
the thing that makes like I don't know about like, oh, that was exciting, and I was just like, but like the thing that makes me shrug is like, why would you be like when a race starts? Why are there people that just sprint away? Because you know they're gonna get caught. Like, and I understand apparently this is a team sport, and like you're trying to maybe pace. But like, I don't know, as an individual, like, don't you want to win the stages? So like, if you're gonna just like go balls out at the beginning and then just get super tired and then the peloton's gonna catch you anyways, like, I don't know. What's the point? I shrug at that.
That's a, that's a valid shrug. Yeah, it's like you go in the breakaway for like a small percentage chance to win. The crazy thing is though, I want to add in a lot of the smaller teams, they go in the breakaway for like TV sponsors for like airtime, where the sponsors of the team are like go in the breakaway so people can see the ad on the jersey
That
for
makes sense. That
for
makes
like
me hate
that
it even
coverage.
more. I'm shrugging. If I could shrug any harder, I would.
Oh my gosh, I get it. I get that, man. All right. Well, I do appreciate those shrugs. One thing I forgot to mention just quickly, in my recap of the first week is that there were 9 stages. 3 of them were won by, well, actually, here, let me say this. This is a very European sport. Most of the riders are like from Belgium, Netherlands, France, Italy, Spain, right? Like most of them are from there. 3 of the winners of so far were from South America. One from Uruguay, and then Johnny Narvaez from Ecuador won 2 stages. That is huge. I want to shout out South America. That's awesome. Like this should become more of a global sport. And yeah, those 3 stage wins are massive.
Also, shout out to the person who ever like waxes their arms or whatever, because man, they were smooth. Like after one of those stages when they were interviewing him and he was like sweating and all this, like his arms were so smooth. I was like, dang, I'm assuming he waxes them. Great job. Great job.
He probably does. Yeah, I don't know who you're referring to, but it could be 90% of the peloton.
No,
So,
the Navarro guy for sure.
oh,
Yeah,
Narvaez,
yeah.
Johnny
The guy
Narvaez,
from
yeah.
Ecuador.
Oh, he totally does. Yeah, you're totally right. He does. Um, all right. Well, we just have a teeny bit more time because my iPad is about to die. But I do want to ask you this as a final question here. Knowing what you guys know about like through F1, knowing what you know about like cars and aerodynamics and stuff, what is one change you would make to the bikes or the riders or something to uh to make them more aerodynamic and go faster?
I mean, for me, it's like joking answer, like electrify it, right? Like if they were on e-bikes or something like that. But just because that's how F1 is now, it's 50% electric,
Oh,
50%
you're right.
internal
Yeah.
combustion. But that would take away the fun of it. Let's be honest. It also takes away a little
Mm,
bit of the fun of F1. Um,
mm,
real answer, I don't know. I mean, I looked at the bike frames; those things are so skinny already. So like,
mm.
yeah, I honestly, to answer that, like in terms of like aerodynamics and stuff, I think it's like what Mike was saying of just like, hey, get over the fact that you're going to look like a school of fish. But like, if you want these people to go as fast as possible, you're already spending so much money on these bodysuits that are doing it. But why not do the same for the technology with the head? So I
Mm.
also want to see a lot more riders like getting down on the handlebars, like,
Downs.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they need you there, coach them just like get
Yeah,
down,
exactly.
get
If I was in a
aerodynamic.
car, like one of the cars next to him, I'd have a stick and I'd just hit them. Like if they were too high, just smack them and then they'll lower.
Oh my gosh. That is so good. I love it. Mike, any final thoughts on that?
I mean, I feel like they've already made the bike so as aerodynamic as they can. Um, I don't know,
Mm,
like
mhm.
maybe having just one single handlebar in the middle, like instead of having the two on the side, so like then they're like gets their shoulders tucked
Just
in, like and I don't know.
mm, that's
I
yeah.
I think putting electric motors in them, like because Indy cars they have a push to pass button. So they have like I'll say 90 seconds of boost that they can use, and you can use it at any point of the race. So like if these riders had a push to
Mm,
pass with an electric motor and it just gave them a little boost, but they had to use it like sparingly, you can't just use it all up front unless you want the TV ad dollars, and then I think that would add an element of competition.
yeah, that's valid. I love it. I'm not opposed. Got to keep you know, evolving with the sport. Um well, thanks so much, guys. This has been fun, a roller coaster of a recap. Are you more or less likely to watch cycling again after this?
I won't say
If you
less, but I
invite
would
me,
say equal amount.
yeah, yeah. If you invite me
Yeah,
to be
okay.
on the podcast again, I will watch the recaps. Other than that, I'll forget this race is even going on tomorrow.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough, fair enough. Like I said, this was not the best week of racing, so I'm not surprised. But but yeah,
Last question for you, Luke.
will this
What's
like
your race
negatively
you look forward
yeah.
to every year? Out of the three GCs, which one is the one that you're like, this one I is my favorite?
Oh, the tour is just on another
Yeah,
level. Like I get so hyped about the
yeah,
tour, even though every year it's like the last few years, it's like Tadej Pogacar is the best rider in the world. He's gonna smash. I get hyped about the tour, and then I get hyped about Milano San Remo is a 1 day race where it's like boring. You don't have to watch any of it, and then the last 30 minutes every year is like a banger. It's
nice.
amazing. So like those are the two that I get the most hyped
Sweet.
about, I
Okay,
would
I
say.
have one more question. I wanted
Yeah.
to ask this earlier,
Yeah.
but I just remembered it. There's stars. This is a 3-star stage. This is a 4-star stage. This is a what is that? What explain to me what the stars mean?
Mm. Um, I feel like it's like sometimes comes across as kind of arbitrary, where it's like the race organizers assign it to certain stages, but it's supposed to be like a 5-star stage is supposed to be like there can only be like one or two of them in a race, and it's like these are the queen stages of a race, and then it's like a 2-star stage should be pretty easy.
Mm.
Same like 3-star stage, like so that's kind of the way I
So
interpret
it's
it.
like based on
Um,
difficulty, not necessarily the excitement. Okay,
yes,
gotcha.
yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah, that's what it should be. Um, but yeah, I hope this doesn't negatively impact our working relationship. This podcast, let's throwing that out there. Um, but yeah, thanks so much, guys. This has been really fun having you both on, talking to you. And yeah, I really appreciate it
Thanks for having us, Luke. It was a lot of fun.
for
Yep.
sure.
Thank you.
I will be back next week for the week 2 recap. Until then, thanks so much for listening. Appreciate it. I will see you all then. See you later.